Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I just want to double check that I am live in the group and all the different destinations. So there we are. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Dr. Joyce Faraj-Ardura, and I am the host of the Nutrition Counseling and Coaching Facebook community. So you might be catching me there, or you might be catching me on my YouTube channel or in LinkedIn. For this month, I would like to go through a couple of different things that are new with motivational interviewing. I figured this would be a good opportunity and a good way to share what I've been reading with all of you. So, this is going to be part one. It's meant to be brief and it's going to show just one of the many updates to this book. So, if you're familiar with motivational interviewing, this style of communication has been around for as long as I have. So about 3 to 4 decades. And it originally started with clinicians wanting to find a way to be more effective and supportive of client behavior change in a substance use recovery setting. So this was initially used in a substance use recovery setting to help people, with their recovery. And then little by little, they started obviously putting together a book, they published it, and this way of communicating started being used in different trials. At this point, there are over, I think, I don't want to quote that number. I think it's 200, maybe 2,000 clinical trials that have been published. No, 200 clinical trials that have used MI and over 2,000 articles that have been published about the use of MI in different settings. And this setting obviously includes nutrition and lifestyle changes. Because if there's anything we know is that nutrition is a science, but eating is a behavior. So we need to be able to be equipped with tools needed to be able to support our clients through their behavior change journey. So MI is going to be one of those really good tools that we can use with our clients in our sessions. So let's get moving here. I don't have that many slides, just a couple. So I wanted to share that the new book, the 4th edition of Motivational Interviewing, was published not that long ago. I think it was end of August, so over a month ago. And I just got it recently. And I already gave one 5-hour workshop on different aspects of MI last week. And I'll be doing another workshop on Monday on cultural humility and motivational interviewing. But for today, I'm going to go through one new aspect of MI. And let's start with the actual definition for those of you who are not familiar with motivational interviewing. The technical definition, first published in 2009, as it stands here, is that motivational interviewing is a goal-oriented method of communication. That means that when we're employing or implementing motivational interviewing, we're usually thinking about helping our clients move towards a target behavior. If there is no target behavior, then how are you really doing MI? It's a little bit more challenging. So there's always this target behavior or a target change that needs to be at the forefront of our conversations when using MI. The next part is with particular attention to the language of change. That means that we have to be listening actively to what our clients are saying, and we have to be paying attention to any kind of statement that the client says or expresses that they might have a desire, ability, reason, or need for making a change. This is known as the DARN, from the DARN CAT acronyms for change talk. So change talk is anything that the client says that expresses a desire, ability, need, or reason for wanting to make a change. So we're going to be paying attention to that, because whatever they say, we got to kind of take it and say it back to them so that they hear themselves talking themselves into change. That's the beauty of motivational interviewing. We can help individuals resolve their ambivalence in a way that they are convincing themselves, but we have to guide that conversation strategically using open-ended questions whose answers are going to be change talk. So we have to pay particular attention to language of change. MI is designed to strengthen an individual's motivation for and movement toward a specific goal by eliciting and exploring the person's own arguments for change. So if we're not paying attention to what our clients, our patients are saying, and if we're not able to really reflect that back, either reflect the content, the emotion, the meaning, or make an assumption as to where they want to go and why we're working together with them, then it's not going to be an am I adherent type of conversation. Now, this book, the one that you have here, is the 4th edition of Motivational Interviewing, and it's been changed quite a bit. But the most striking feature from this book is that it is now more simplified. So it's meant to have very simple language that's easy to understand. So it's no longer geared mainly for therapists, but it's geared for all sorts of individuals who are helping other individuals. So this could be coaching, nutritionists, dietitians, doctors. So it's not just meant, or school counselors, not just meant for therapists, but it's meant to be accessible to many others who might not be familiar with all of that lingo that's very prevalent in like psychotherapy books. So that's the first thing. With the simplification of the language comes the simplification of the definition of MI as well. So if we look at the bottom here, motivational interviewing is a particular way of talking with people about change and growth to strengthen their own motivation and commitment. So that's nice and simple and to the point. And I love that. So let's move on to the first change. Oh, let's move on to who I am. So for those of you who are new in my world, I'm Joyce Faraj-Ardura, and I am a nutrition counseling coach for dietitians and nutrition professionals. I am hoping that you see me as your biggest ally in everything related to nutrition counseling. I specialize in training dietitians to use motivational interviewing using behavior change science and the foundations of counseling in a patient-centered, strength-based, solution-focused approach to client interactions and client sessions. Because I soon realized after becoming a dietitian that my own training was lacking a lot of this. So I got all the training that I could, read the books, did the workshops, the supervision, took the courses, until I felt I was at a point that I was pretty confident in my own nutrition counseling skills. So I was able to notice a difference in my path. Fast forward a few years later, I started teaching nutrition counseling at the college level, both higher level undergrad and grad level. And that allowed me to have more conversations with dietitians who were telling me, I don't know what I'm doing. They were telling me they didn't have the confidence to really support their clients through behavior change, because what they were taught was to provide really good nutrition education. And that's wonderful if the only gap is knowledge. But most likely your clients are not going to be coming to you only lacking knowledge. Many of them are going to have a lot of knowledge about what works and what doesn't work. They are also considered experts in their own lives. But we have to be able to meet them where they're at. We have to be able to adjust our approach to be able to best support them to reach their health goals. So that is the part that was missing. And again, I keep on saying this, nutrition is a science, but eating is a behavior. So if we're well versed and knowledgeable about behavior change science, we're going to be better able to support our clients through the journey that is behavior change, because it's not easy. If you ever try to implement a new habit, you know how difficult it can be. So then how can we as dietitians become more than just information givers, nutrition education providers? How can we become the individuals that are going to give their clients so much value, because we're going to do life with them. We're going to support them through the ups and downs of behavior change. And we're going to provide that space for them to really process what's going on and how they can get out of those holes and move forward. So I created the Nutrition Counseling Academy with the purpose of providing dietitians and nutrition professionals like yourselves the tools, the knowledge, the strategies, and the skills needed to be able to get to that point where you feel good about the work you're doing with your clients, helping them get better outcomes, and helping them work with you for as long as they need to, so they don't drop off the radar after a month or two. And if you're here, you're probably seeing me in my LinkedIn, in my YouTube, or in the Nutrition Coaching and Counseling Facebook community, where I provide lots of these mini trainings. If you want more, go ahead to the guide section, and you're going to find lots of these. As part of the work that I do, I have created a skill building course for dietitians. And as of this week, it has been approved for 19.25 CEUs. So that's almost 20 CEUs for a self-paced nutrition counseling course for dietitians. And it takes you through all the foundations of counseling, motivational interviewing, how to put it all together, how to apply it, and then through the most challenging issues you might find in your sessions and how to overcome them. That's one offer that's always available. I also have a hybrid program where we go through this program together. And you have one-to-ones with me, but you also have weekly group coaching sessions. The next one will open in 2024. So if that's something you're looking forward to, let me know and I can add you to the list for next year. But at the end of today, I'm going to go over what I've been planning for over a year and it's finally coming to fruition. If you're someone who's not sure where to start with nutrition counseling, then that might be an option for you. But let's get to the juicy part. So with this new book, and full disclosure, I haven't made it through the whole book yet. So I've only read part of it. So as I'm reading, I want to start making all of these shorter trainings to share what I've been finding useful with all of you. If any of you are familiar with motivational interviewing, then you might have heard about the spirit of MI, the spirit of motivational interviewing. And the way that the authors describe this is if the skills that you're using to guide your client sessions, such as your open-ended questions, your affirmations, reflections, and summaries, which are the main micro skills of motivational interviewing, if those are like the lyrics to a song, and motivational interviewing is a song, then the spirit of MI is the music that complements the lyrics to be able to create this beautiful song. So the spirit of MI is your attitude, how you go into the sessions with your clients. It's your demeanor, is what you do or what you don't do in sessions. Previously, the spirit of MI was composed of 4 parts, one part being partnership, and that hasn't changed. So partnership is our ability to see our clients as experts of their own lives, because we might have the expertise in nutrition, in the nutrition science, in the hopefully counseling and the education, because we have our training, we have our lived experience, but our clients have their own lived experience and only they know what works, what doesn't work. So together in partnership, we can come up with the most effective strategy to be able to get them where they need to get health-wise. So that is the first component of the spirit of MI, partnership. So how do we form this collaboration with our clients? How do we treat them as equals so that we're not having this imbalance of power, which is what traditional nutrition counseling used to be like. It used to be very prescriptive. I, dietitian, I am the expert. You, the client, is going to be learning from me. And that's not how we should be approaching a session that is MI adherent. So we are partners. The second component of the spirit of MI is acceptance. Because there's a paradox there. Clients are only able to change when they accept themselves. And in order for them to accept themselves, we need to be able to accept them as they are. So for acceptance, there are various facets to this. You have absolute acceptance, which means I accept you as you are. You also have the accurate empathy, which is how we can let them know that we are understanding or trying to understand where they're coming from, using those reflections of their content, their meaning, their emotions, their feelings back to them. And we also have, so that's for acceptance. Then we also have the compassion. For compassion, this is basically telling your client that you are an ethics-driven practitioner that are going to be thinking about their well-being. That's going to be at the forefront of your conversations. This here, compassion, is what distinguishes you from a car salesman or from someone that is selling something. Because when you're selling something, usually you just want to make that sale. But when you are a compassionate practitioner, you are doing the work that needs to be done with your client in a way that keeps their well-being and their autonomy at the forefront. So a statement that would encompass this or embody this would be, I want to support you in whatever way I can. That's compassion right there. And after compassion, we have on the left side, evocation. And that used to be denoting the interviewing part of motivational interviewing, where we really get to dig into the big why for our clients, the intrinsic motivation, and bring that out through the question asking strategies. They have changed this because we already have an aspect of motivational interviewing that focuses on evoking. And that's one of the strategies or one of the tasks or the processes of MI. So they have now changed evocation to empowerment. That's one of the big changes that has happened in this fourth edition. And check this out. So to empower, and I think I have this on the next slide. So the word empowering comes from a strength-based approach. We could be thinking about empowering as being us providing our clients with something, or it can also be seen as us helping our clients discover what's already there. So from a strength-based approach, we're going to be having conversations with our clients that are going to help us uncover what their strengths are and what they can use to be able to feel more self-assured, to raise that self-efficacy that they can actually reach the goals that they want to reach. So I have more on empowerment on the next slide. So to empower is to help people realize and use their own strengths and abilities. So they're not in any way deficient, that actually they have a lot of strengths inside of them that they can be using to reach their goals. And we can help them discover that through our coaching. Our job is going to be to evoke their inner strengths and look for assets and opportunities instead of coming from a deficit approach. So what are they lacking? Here it is. I'm going to provide it to you. No. So instead, let's try to figure out what's worked for you in the past. How have you been able to get, this habit in your life to be consistent with it? What has helped you? What have you been able to overcome? So we're having these conversations to kind of figure out what abilities, what skills, what strengths they already possess that are going to help them reach their future goals. But we have to help them discover that. The implicit message in MI when it comes to empowerment is going to be the dietitian telling their client, you have what you need, and together we're going to find it. So it's going to be really essential for you to have the conversations and ask the questions that are going to help your client discover what those inner strengths and abilities are. So I really like this. Let me see, what else did I want to share here? I think that is the gist of it. So the implicit message here is what am I saying here? So the implicit message again is that they already have what they need to be able to move forward. I thought I had something else I wanted to share, but I'm not seeing it. So that is the first change. For next time, I'm going to go into the other change, which is the 4 processes of MI have been changed to the 4 tasks of MI. And with each task, there's a particular question that we're answering in how we approach those conversations with our clients. So that's really neat. And this really helps us understand how we're applying MI in our sessions. But before we end, I wanted to also share with you what I have been working on behind the scenes. If you are someone who wants to enhance their nutrition counseling skills, but you don't know how, you don't know what topic you want to learn more about, maybe you don't want to just box yourself into one area, you want to learn a little bit about a lot of topics, or maybe you haven't been able to find one that's within your budget, then this is something you might want to hear about. I am creating a virtual nutrition counseling summit for November 17th and 18th. Now, this isn't just any summit. It is going to be really exceptional. So I have been lucky enough to get some of the best minds out there when it comes to nutrition counseling. So we're going to have Alyssa Rumsey, who's going to be talking about rethinking your own confidence and your strengths as dietitians by trusting your counseling skills. We have Alyssa Rumsey, who's been really active in this area. She also has a book called Unapologetically Eating. Then we have Amy Helms, who is really into trauma informed. She is a therapist and a dietitian. So she's going to be talking about how trauma can affect your client resistance. So trauma and patient ambivalence, the impact and how we can help facilitate change. Then comes Amanda Mittman, who's going to be talking about why you need to be talking about body image. Many dietitians, actually most of us, don't get trained in how to have discussions about body image. Maybe a lot of therapists don't even get this. So you're going to be learning how to use motivational interviewing in a session to talk about body image issues with your clients. Then we're going to have Laura Kohler, who is a specialist in helping dietitians make change easy for their clients. So she is a renal dietitian, and she's been a dietitian for over 20 years. And her talk is going to be on the easy way to change, how to simplify health behaviors using easy button strategies. Then we have Dawn Clifford, who, if you're familiar with MI Nutrition and Fitness, she is one of the co-authors of that book. That tends to be like the book that all dietitians tend to have when it comes to MI. And many of us just have it, or many dietitians tend to have it on their bookshelf. They read a chapter or two, they find it extremely useful, but then they need more guidance. So if you have read that book cover to cover like I have, kudos to you. But if you haven't, but you gotten an exposure to what MI is and you know about Dawn Clifford, then you're going to love her session on motivational interviewing for weight-inclusive counseling. Then we have Shani Jordan Goldman, who's going to be talking about having better patient-centered conversations where you're not necessarily confident in your MNT or in clinical. How can we still marry MNT and counseling in a way that's going to be better for our clients and easier to understand, easier to implement through having effective communication strategies. Then we have, this is on Saturday already, the wonderful Tracy Brown, who's going to be talking about trauma-informed nutrition counseling. Then we have Charlie Golightly. They will be talking about unlearning expert mode, the new wave of dietetics. And if you recall from the Spirit of MI, we have to be able to build a relationship, a partnership, a collaboration with our clients. And we can only really build that true connection with them, which, by the way, might be one of the strongest indicators of whether your clients are going to follow through with behavior change from your sessions. So they will be talking about unlearning expert mode, the new wave of dietetics. And last but not least, I will be talking to you. I'll be sharing in my session about what resistance is and how we can approach it, how we can prevent it, and how we can basically learn more about resistance so that we can be better able to adapt our approach in session to prevent resistance from popping up